Welcome to Filmmakers Therapy Couch. I'm Dami. In the spotlight, documentary filmmaker Dawn Porter. I caught up with her while she was pitching, and we got into filmmakers therapy.
I am Dawn Porter. I'm the director and producer of Gideon's Army, about 3 young public defenders working in the Deep South. Premiered at Sundance Film Festival and aired at HBO, and Spies, Mississippi on Independent Lens. Part of what I like about being a filmmaker is running my own business and creating work and opportunities and opportunity for collaborative work for other people, particularly women, particularly minority people. I also like the freedom of working for myself. I work just as hard, but I think I work smarter, and I'm able to make time for other things that are important for me, like my family. Before being my own boss, I had always worked for a corporation. I worked for a law firm, then I worked for ABC, then I worked for A&E, big corporations. There was always a supply closet, so when you start to work for yourself, you quickly realize I was shocked at how much pens cost, and there was nobody to clean up. Part of being a filmmaker these days is understanding the business. You can't just go in your cave and make your movie and present it to the world. You have to relate with people. You have to get out there and go to events and understand what's happening in the business. And it's those relationships that keep us all working. So I think that's a really important thing for filmmakers, is to get out there and meet your colleagues, go see their work, see what's happening. You develop your style, but see what other people are doing. It's usually inspiring. The way that we get hired is by pitching in one form or another. For grants, we have to write a lot of grants. I spend a lot of time. And what you're doing then is really thinking about your audience and thinking about what about your project that makes you so passionate about it is also going to be appealing to your audience. So if it's a foundation, for Gideon's Army, the Ford Foundation was a big early funder. They had a big criminal justice program, and so I knew highlighting how the film could bring those stories to life was going to be important for Ford, so I really emphasized that in those written materials. But there are also live pitching events that are very critical to filmmakers these days. There's hot docs, for example, in Canada. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to put your characters out there.
My film, Trapped, is about 2 abortion clinics that are trying to stay open. They are operating in the Deep South against a backdrop of politics that has become increasingly anti-choice. I'd like to show you a graphic that I think will point out to you.
The challenge there is finding a compelling 3 minutes and then talking and being succinct about, if you can't pitch your idea in under 5 minutes, then you need to rethink what your idea is. Because you are the person who has to sell that idea all the time. You should constantly be able to do that. Practice on your friends, on your family, on the lady in the grocery store. Practice in low pressure situations so that when the high pressure situations come, you're used to telling the story and when you've got your sweet spot. It's one of the essential skills of our business, is somehow learning to pitch or finding someone to work with you who likes and can do it well if you can't do it.
I encourage people to learn the business aspect of filmmaking, even if it's something that you're not going to do yourself, because even if you're a creative side and your project blows up, you're going to need to know that. You're going to need to know how to pick people to do that for you. When you get to that point, you know what questions to ask, you know who to go to, and you know how to pick the people to be on your team.